In a world of glitz and glam, flashing lights and screaming fans, most people are unaware of the war that rages behind the scenes. And that war includes your favorite artist and your favorite songs. This is The Dark Side of Songwriting. Hosted by Nayim Edwards.
Welcome to The Dark Side of Songwriting. My name is Nayim Edwards. I am your host, and today I want to talk about how people react to these type of situations with Cassie and Diddy. The first thing is, I do not like legalese. And the reason I do not like legalese is because people, one, they don't really know how to read, interpret, or comprehend what they're seeing because they don't have a mind that goes beyond their emotions pretty much. They see things, they hear things, and they don't have the mind that they will be able to take into any type of legal situation or a courtroom that will be able to decipher what is actually being said. I read through the lawsuit. There was a lot of stuff in there where it just was a lot of dancing with wolves. It was a lot of speculatory things where nobody gave any concrete fillers. One of the sentences that was in this lawsuit was, "This was the first time Mr. Combs got me high." That sentence right there, anybody with sense would ask, okay, were you on drugs? What did he get you? What were you doing before that? Were you getting high on your own? Somebody would say that, but regular people are not going to think like that. It was just a lot of that language, and I just wanted to put that up there on the table first, because those kind of sentences and those kind of things, and especially with everything evolving around how she wanted to write her book, she was cheating on Ryan Leslie, she Kid Cudi had interest in her, and he blew up his car because he was looking at me, and the whole thing with, I'm gonna give you your rights back, but you can't say nothing. So this was a way to be able to get her story out and get around that, and everybody already knew that Diddy was the freakiest frog in the rainforest, and he was with Cassie since she was a teenager, 19, until for like 15 years or something like that, because they said they broke up in 2018. I don't need to get into that. I just did not like the language of the lawsuit because it just was not clear. They were just like, if this is a civil suit, just say it. Before we talk about how the public reacts to that, the second thing is, the reason that Diddy settled this in 24 hours is because if this was to go to a deposition, he would have to confirm or deny the accounts and confess to whatever was being accused of him. So whatever they was accusing him of and whatever she said that he did, he would have to say, yes, I did that. No, I didn't do that. They would have to do an investigation. They would have to go. And because that was when the internet was popping up, everything lives forever. There's pictures of Cassie with like a busted lip and shades from a long time ago. It's just so much stuff that was already out there. Everybody already had their speculations about what he was doing to her, especially seeing his behavior and all these other things. So he settled it so he would not have to confirm or deny. It's not an admission of guilt, but I don't want there to be an investigation, so I'm going to give her something. We don't know what she got. Some people is going over what she asked for. Some people saying it's half. We don't know. There's no way for you to know. He made her an offer that the lawyer said you should just go ahead and take this offer. And that's what happened. This is what I'm going to say. And I know a lot of people are not going to like this. You don't get to tell people how to deal with their problems. Straight up. You do not get to tell a person who was victimized how to deal with it, how to handle it, when they should talk about it, when they should handle it, how it should be handled, what they should do. You do not have that right to do that. And the reason that y'all should be aware of the things that come out of y'all mouth in regards to these things is because I saw Slim Thug talk about, and a lot of people had these sentiments about when victims should come out with their story, when victims should come out and speak about the things that happened to them. Would you tell that to your child? If somebody was tampering with your child, would you tell your child that you did not tell me somebody was tampering with you when you were 7 years old, when you were 12 years old, when you were 15 years old, when you were 17 years old, but they decide that they actually want to come out and deal with these issues that bleed into their adult life in their 20s, in their 30s. Would you tell somebody that was talking about they were tampered with in their childhood, would you tell them that they should not say anything or talk about it? They should come out immediately when it happened. They should say something immediately when it happens, or it's not true, you're a liar, we're going to do a background check on you, we're going to do all of this stuff. You would not tell that to somebody who was tampered with as a child, and you definitely would not tell it to your child. So telling somebody else how to deal with their issues, that's not it. Like, a lot of people don't hear themselves when they talk about these things. They just think like, oh, you came out 15 years later, so you're a liar. But imagine a 15-year-old finally being able to process, because a lot of people ain't been through nothing. A lot of people ain't been through no trauma. We're going to talk about the monster on the other side of that, but there's a lot of people who've been through these things who can relate to what I'm saying in regards to something happened to you and you decided you don't want to talk about it. Your brain goes through this whole chemical act and this chemical thing where a lot of people block things out. A lot of people have all type of spectrum of emotion and behavior that coincide with whatever happened to them. So a lot of people end up keeping it to themselves, not because they don't want to expose the person, not because they don't want to speak out. It's because y'all foster these environments where people cannot be comfortable talking about the bad things that happen to them. And why are they not comfortable? Because you call them a liar, because you do not believe them, because you do a full kit on their life when they actually come out and they talk about these things, just to end up going however you feel about it, because you feel like, why didn't you just say something immediately? It's a lot of stuff that probably happened to a lot of these people who talk like that they have not told people. That if they went to ask their mother or their grandmother what happened to them, their mother and their grandmother can tell them some stories. Their sisters, their homegirls can tell them some stories. Their aunts, their homeboys, their uncles, their daddies, their grandfathers can tell them stories about how somebody tampered with them or did something to them that they decided that they didn't want to tell it. We're also all not operating on the same plane of strength. That means that how I handle things, you do not handle things the way that I handle them. I might have a higher tolerance for pain. I might have a better way of handling myself. I might manifest my emotions a different way than you. You don't. This is why some people self-delete and some people keep going. We're not all operating at the same level when it comes to what's going on upstairs in our mind. Because some stuff can happen to us and we all go and we go do great things, and some stuff happen to people they don't recover from and they take their seatbelt off. They hop off the ride. They don't care. So you can't tell nobody, it's a whole lot that goes into that. A lot of people also don't want people to come out and say nothing about it later on, because they're monsters themselves. They've done something themselves. They've done something that is questionable. And let me tell you the definition of the capital R word. Any, A-N-Y, involuntary, non-consensual sexual act. That is the definition of it. Period. It does not have that definition. It's not, it depends, or if she said yes at first and then she says no, and you continue, or he says yes at first and then he says no or stop and you continue, that is capital R. If they consented to protected sex, but you take off the protection or you don't use the protection and you do it anyway, capital R. Taking it from somebody, obviously y'all think that that's what it's all about. A person that cannot consent, drunk people, high people, intoxicated people cannot consent. Period. That's not your person, and they didn't say, hey, this is what I want to do before they did it. Capital R. That's what it is. There's no in between with that. And people like to play, and people like to act like that is something that is not, and it's something that is different, because they're guilty of those type of acts. They're guilty of non-consensual sex acts with people. So they don't want people to come out and say, hey, this person did a non-consensual sex act on me. This person is a predator, because they know they're guilty of these things. Getting somebody intoxicated against their will, forcing a person to do these things, doing things against people's will, all capital R. And a lot of people is guilty of that. So they think that because they got away with it because nobody came out and said nothing, that, oh, you shouldn't say nothing 20 years later, because a lot of these people are guilty of these things, so they don't want you to say this stuff. But the other side of this is when we don't create the space where people can actually talk about these things that have happened to them, we're only making it worse. You should not have an opinion about somebody talking about their assault. There's no opinion to be had about that. A person talking about something that happened to them specifically, especially when it comes to their autonomy, there's no opinion to be had about that. It doesn't matter if she didn't want criminal charges filed. That's not your business. If she did not file criminal charges and want the state to pick that up, or the feds or whoever would pick it up, that's her business. If she wants to be compensated financially for the things that happened to her, that's her business. That's how she wants to handle it. Because if somebody hit your car, you would file a suit to get money. If a police officer beat you up, you would file a suit to get money. Why shouldn't she be financially compensated for what happened to her? That's her business. That's what she wants. That's how she wants to handle her situation. I'm not here to, it's a stick up. I don't care if it was a stick up. You did something to somebody, you should pay. Grand opening, grand closing. What I want to say is every victory fuels the next victory, and every defeat fuels the next defeat. Just like when Meg Thee Stallion decided that she wanted to take the arrows in her back because she decided to speak out when somebody did something to her. Y'all want to throw y'all opinion in there about it. But now people are getting more comfortable, especially young girls, because we know a lot of the severely young people, and when I say young, I mean under 40. I'm not 40 or, nothing like that. But young people have a problem with just letting things happen to them and not doing nothing about it. Megan Thee Stallion coming out and taking the arrows in her back, whether you believe it or not, it don't matter. That's going to encourage people to actually speak up when somebody does violence to them. Cassie coming out and talking about the things that happened to her and whatever details she wants to explain to us, that is going to encourage other people, especially in the music industry. And we know that a lot of these people, the majority of them is mostly predators. They're trifling people. They do capital R's. They assault you. They drug you up. They get you hooked on these type of things. They prey on your weakness. And it's not just females, it's males too. They prey on your downfall. They prey on everything negative that you got going on in your life. This is going to encourage more people to come out with their story. So you can give your opinion. She shouldn't have took the money. She should have put him in jail. She should have filed charges on him. She should have did this. She can do what the hell she want to do. As long as we know who the freakiest frog in the rainforest is, and we can stay away from that person, that's how she want to handle it. Why y'all not going and we're demanding this, we demanding that, we're demanding that? Because a lot of y'all are guilty of the things that y'all are trying to make other people go after and do. Or you want people to be quiet about the bad things that happen to them. Because nobody gets and tells you how you should handle it. I personally feel like if you're a professional, you don't let nobody at no occupation talk to you any kind of way. But y'all managers make y'all stay over. The person at the job make you do all type of stuff, talk to you crazy, do all this stuff, and you sit there and you smile and you take it. People run over you, use your talent up for something, don't give you no credit, drain your battery to give the life from your battery to somebody else's battery. You don't say nothing about it. So why is you worried about how she handled her personal business? Settling, to me, I know that settling is not in the mission of any type of guilt, but it's just to make it go away. But y'all need to be mindful of what you're saying, because children are listening to you, young people are listening to you, people who have been through things are listening, and they hear what you're saying, and they say, if you ever dealt with or talked to somebody who's been through any of these things, or you're a person who's been through these things, you know that people don't come out and speak about the atrocities that happen to them, even to their closest relatives, because of how people respond to these things, because people want to give their personal opinion about something they don't know anything about and have not been through. Because they freaky frogs themselves, or they want to protect their friends, they want to protect people they like, and the people that they like hold precedent over anything that happened to you. So people just take it to the grave, go crazy, grow up, need all type of therapy, just all type of situations that we could have already avoided if we were fostering more of a healing environment where, how do you want to handle this? How do you want to do this? Do this person need their hair cut off? Because me personally, I'm kill your abuser all day. I don't want to talk it out. Kill him. Like, kill him. Fuck him. Kill him. That's how I feel about it. But everybody doesn't feel like that's the proper way to handle those type of people. You know, whether she was in a relationship and she was grown and in a relationship, that doesn't negate anything that happened to her. That doesn't mean she deserved it. That doesn't mean she consented to it. She could have been scared for her life. It could have been anything. You don't tell somebody how to handle their problems. You don't tell people what to do. You can't. We can only make suggestions of how we want things to go. And especially people in music talking about how this thing should have went. Or people not in music talking about it like you don't know these people. People is out here sucking dick for beats. And you're going to tell, and they're doing it because this is all they got. And they think that, oh, I can do this. And then they end up in this crazy situation, in this crazy cycle. They can't get out of it, or somebody have ruined their career because of the sex that they didn't want to have. Somebody's shelved them and they're not able to have a career because of what they wouldn't do with somebody sexually. We can't pay attention to what you're talking about in regards to who is listening to me. You should be, because I realize that a lot of these people, they do not care about their children. If you was to say, my kid or a child is listening or somebody's listening and somebody's around, they wouldn't care. They wouldn't do anything. Like Keke Palmer, and her boyfriend and her mama and his mama. Keke Palmer mama was like, I'm gonna put a bullet in your head or something, and people's like, oh, my mama, I got beat up and my mama wouldn't do that. Well, I know your mama a hoe. She a bitch. She ain't, like, what mother wouldn't come to the rescue or try to come to the rescue of their kid and say something to the, well, I wouldn't be talking to the brother, but I wouldn't be talking to the brother, but like, what mother wouldn't come out like that? What mother wouldn't say these kind of things, you know? People that just let me know that nobody care about nothing. And a lot of these people are delusional because they feel like one day I'm going to be somebody and somebody's going to lie on me, bro. Everybody not lying on everybody, bro. We know how these people get down. Because if somebody is coming out and lying on you, what will be stopping you from putting a defamation suit on them? That's very easy response to lies, is defamation. You're lying. I can prove you're lying. Defamation suit. Cool. They don't, you personalizing these things that you've never been through. You're personalizing these things instead of just analyzing what's going on in the situation that's happening. And then children see this, young people see this, people who've been through things, they see these things. They see these things and they like, nobody would care about me anyway. Nobody would care what happened to me anyway. And y'all put that energy out there knowing that that's going to be the consensus out there because you so fanned out, looking for a daddy, looking for friends, looking for people to sit around and be trifling people. Because I personally believe that most people are not good people. I don't care what nobody say. Most people are terrible. Most people are predators. Most people do not care. So y'all put that energy out there so y'all can continue to perpetrate your disgusting and trifling behavior. So just be mindful of how you talk about these situations and what you're saying. Because you can't have an opinion about how a person handle their stuff. That's what I wanted to say about this. She can sue and do whatever she want to do. That's her business. She the one who was, she was the sex slave for 15 years. She brain probably all screwed up. Her husband is probably the one that even put her up to doing this. But that's something else. I'm just saying. This is the Dark Side of Songwriting.